The brand new Ultimate, the Omega Protocol, has been officially cleared for the first time. However, there was leaked footage from their raid showing that they were using hacks, which is something that is explicitly forbidden in the terms of service. There's going to be a lot to unpack here, so let's get into it. Disclaimers that I'm going to make are that there is going to be no mentioning of any members' names. I'm not going to be talking about team names. I'm not going to be mentioning the names of any tools or show them in action in this video. Now, it shouldn't need to be said because Yoshi P says it what feels like quarterly or like 4 times a year it feels, that third-party tools are things that interact with the game client, and these are things that are bannable. And so if you're caught using a third-party tool, I don't know who you're trying to play as a fool. It is against the terms of service, and this shouldn't even need to be said. I want to talk about a metaphor that I think highly relates to the current raid scene, what is going on. And so this is going to be the gym, steroids, professional athletics like professional baseball players, as well as bodybuilders, and like the pursuit of being like a hulking beast like the IFBB pros. This is a metaphor that I brought in my first commentary video. I have friends that are just like, oh, just wing it, don't use a script, and I forgot to like emphasize some points, and some people were like, wait, what? I want to emphasize, if you use steroids in a professional baseball setting as like a professional baseball player, you will be ejected, you will be banned. They will not let you play professional sports if you are on steroids. Very similar to the terms of service. If you are using third-party tools, Yoshi P has, as I said, basically quarterly, 4 times a year, said don't do that. Now, am I saying that these are bad players? No. As someone who worked out for 10 years and then the pandemic made me become a bit chonkier, I will call myself like a muscle cub. No, steroids or tools will not make it so that you're suddenly an IFBB pro. You will need intense dedication to the craft. You will need to be changing out your workouts. You'll need to be very, very dedicated to your diet and making sure that that is absolutely on point. And you will need to work your butt off for that. No different than with these players. Taking steroids will not suddenly make you into a monster, and having these tools will not suddenly make you a good player. So I don't want to be unfair to these players and say that they're bad, because I think that way too many people are just saying, oh, they're just completely bad. These are some exceptionally gifted, talented players regardless. Now, people are going to be like, okay, don't waffle around. Tell me what you actually think about the clear. I think a clear is a clear factually if we're looking at a binary standpoint, but if you asked me in terms of do I think that it's an authentic world first clear, no, I don't. I think that whenever you are breaking the terms of service or having like a breach in contract, I think that all bets are out of the window. Something that you very commonly see in sports is someone wins something, then it was found out, oh wait, they were like doing like a bunch of different interesting tricks, and then you do see that get rescinded. I don't think that it was quite authentic. Like, it is not the world first by the definition. And I do think that it does devalue it a little bit, but more than devaluing the world first itself, I think it devalues the efforts of every single player involved that isn't using these tools. I think that that is the kind of person that is most impacted. And to that, I want to talk about impacts of this on the general player base. And see guys, I'm going to be absolutely painfully transparent here. This doesn't impact me whatsoever. In fact, the world first race is so filled with drama that I tend to stay away from it, because honestly it scares me. There are people clout chasing after one another, trying to just like climb the social ladder, that are like, hey, I'm raiding with so-and-so, I'm going to be climbing the social ladder, this is going to be so good for my streaming career. It's a lot, but I think the cream on the cake was when I saw that one team's summoner had a family member go through something serious, and I saw people actually rejoicing that, or saying that they wish it was worse, or that the rest of the team fails just because they didn't like one member for whatever reason. I don't care. And I think that those people are absolute fucking losers without question, because like this person's mom went through something and they had to leave, and the responses from some people are just so repulsive. Like, I can be called a normie, I can be called a casual, I really don't give a shit. Obviously I have my sanity, because I cannot imagine how damaged in the head one has to be to say what I saw. And if we're gonna say explicitly how does this impact me, it doesn't impact me whatsoever, and it's not something that like personally offends me, like someone else clearing or not clearing content, and however they go about doing it does not impact my enjoyment of the game personally. And so I think that a lot of people feel the same. However, if I was participating in the world first race and I am a vanilla player that follows the TOS, otherwise you'd see Rothgar hair mods and other things. Like, I'd have hats and hair. I would probably have that like wind color hair or some stuff, but you don't. And so like, if I was participating in the world first race, I would feel a little bummed. I'd be like, well, that really sucks. But if we're talking the general player base, if you want my absolutely brutally unkind truth, the general player base doesn't even know the event's going on. That might sound like a lot to a lot of people, but they just don't know what's even going on. They're like, yo, I'm just logging in after work to do my expert roulette. Oh, I played with my house that I just got. What's an Omega? And I'm not even joking, it's a sad thing. People are like, what? But if I'm super honest, Yoshi P has said it so many times, like I said at the start of the video, like twice. We keep hearing about it. Yoshi P might be backed into a corner where he has to implement anti-cheat software. I use this analogy about like a hockey player in a goal, and I think that like Yoshi P's the goalie trying to stop all the pucks from getting into the goal, and he's like, no, don't get that, don't get that, don't get that. Guys, we have a huge portion of players of this game that come from PlayStation, and Yoshi P has been a staunch advocate for not wanting to mess about with things and wanting people to just like not like do stupid things. And he's been very unambiguous. He's just like, I don't support these mods, I don't support these third-party tools. He's like, don't put words in my mouth. But we might seriously be facing the era where anti-cheat software may be implemented in Final Fantasy XIV, and I could go on a 90-minute rant on anti-cheat software and how many games it has made literally unplayable for me, but I'll skip that. I don't want anti-cheat software in 14, and if we want to talk about screwing up the general player base who may not even know Omega is going on right now, that would be one way to do it. I'm pretty sure that's also another reason why they don't want to do it, because they're like, oh, bad experiences around the board for that. I want to end this by saying, in terms of like, does streaming make this authentic? The answer is no, and I'm not going to go into a deep dive of OBS settings, but you can pick out certain audio streams. In fact, in past recordings of videos of mine, there have been videos where people have heard like a Facebook notification or a Discord notification, and they've gone, oh my god, holy shoot, like, is that one of my notifications? And then I get an angry comment saying, stop, get that out of your video, I'm hearing these pings and they're scaring me and making me think there's an alert from Discord. And I'm like, oh shoot, sorry. So like, you can pick out particular audio streams, you can pick out particular visual streams as well. And so just streaming, it might make it harder to do, but anyone who has any experience with OBS knows how to filter out what they want to be seen and heard and what they don't know to be seen and heard. So kind of in conclusion, we are kind of in a very bad position right now as a player base, because we have people questioning, obviously, is this an authentic clear? We're trying to, as a player base, define what is authentic, what is not authentic, what do we want to accept and what do we not want to accept. But if you want the honest truth, if we really peel back everything, what we say doesn't matter. It's what is in the terms of service, what the developers are actually writing out and what they're enforcing. Like, if you're streaming with a particular set of mods on, you cannot act surprised if you get banned. You can't. Like, you cannot watch this video and disagree with me on that. If you get banned after doing that, you can't act dumb. And unfortunately, given how many eyes were on this event, guys, this might be the one hockey puck that Yoshi P acting as a goalie might not be able to catch for us, and we might actually see more severe anti-cheat measures or the like coming down. And I think it's unfortunate. I feel bad for anyone in the World First race that was legitimate. I feel horrible for any of the players caught in the crossfire. I feel terrible for anyone caught up in the drama, like that summoner that has to deal with all this hate and people cheering on one of the worst things. Oh my god. That's not even human. And like, I will happily be a casual, normie, garbage can of a player before I ever become that hateful over a video game, guys. Like, I think we all need to frame this. This is still a video game. And I think it's just so crazy what has been going on. I think it's actually really gross. But yeah, this is just the second recording of this. I hope this makes things more clear. I'll end it on, you can't take steroids, even if you make them work and put in the effort to get that muscle and then participate in a baseball game. You can't participate in that baseball game if you're on those steroids.